Oh yeah, I did also forget to say, I'm recording this after doing the video. I will be putting all the links for all the builds in the description below. But yeah, yo, what's going on? It's Crane here, and I know this is kind of a different video, but I just felt like doing it because I'm looking into a computer that I will be saving up for. I've already picked the parts. But yeah, I'm looking into the computer, and I just figured out I'm on a budget for the computer, but other people are on budgets like I used to be for their computers. So I want to help you guys out if you're looking to build your own computer. If you are gonna try and buy a pre-built computer, make sure to search up the parts in the computer and add up the prices. See if you're getting worth the money that you're paying for the pre-built. But I will be doing 6 AMD computers and 6 Intel computers, and these are put together by me. But yeah, so the first one that we have here is the $550 budget gaming PC. So, for the CPU or the processor, I went with the AMD Ryzen 3 1200, 3.1 gigahertz, and it's a quad-core processor. For the motherboard, I went the MSI B350 Tomahawk, and it's an ATX motherboard. All these except for 1 or 2, I believe, are 16 gigabytes. So for memory, I went with the G-Skill Ripjaws V series, 16 gigabytes. It's DDR4 and 3200 megahertz. For storage, it's 1 terabyte. The video card is a GTX 1050. For the case, it's a Corsair Carbide Spec 04, black and red. And the power supply is the EVGA 500 watt 80 plus bronze certified power supply. And now moving on to the $650 budget gaming. I went a little bit above. For some I did go a little bit above. So for most of them I did go a little bit above. But it's mostly like $20 more than what I said, like 650. It's just 650 is not above. But for the CPU, I chose the AMD Ryzen 3 2200G. It's 3.5 gigahertz, and it's another quad-core processor. For the motherboard, I went with the ASRock B450 Pro 4. It's ATX. The memory, Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gigabytes, 3000 megahertz. Storage, I went with 1 terabyte. Video card is the 1050 Ti, MSI GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. For the case, I went to Fantex Eclipse P300. For the power supply, again, like the $550 one, I went with the 500 watt EVGA. Now, moving on to the $750 budget gaming PC. We have the Ryzen, for the CPU, we have the Ryzen 5 1600, 3.2 gigahertz, 6-core processor. Motherboard is the MSI B350M Gaming Pro Micro ATX. The memory is the Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gigabytes, 2400 megahertz. Storage, like I said again, all of them will either have 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes. I went with the Western, and then for the video card, I want the EVGA GeForce GTX 1060 6 gigabytes. For the case, I went with the Deepcool Tesseract SW ATX mid tower case. And I believe this case does also support micro ATX, so that's cool. And then again, 500 watt power supply, $9 more, that's it. And then now we're moving on to the $850 budget gaming PC. I went with the Ryzen 7 1700, 3 gigahertz, and it's an 8-core processor. For the motherboard, I went with the MSI B350 PC made ATX motherboard. For the memory, I went with the G-Skill Trident Z-RGB, 16 gigabytes, 3000 memory. Seagate, for the storage, I went with the Seagate Barracuda 2 terabyte, 7,200 RPM. So that's how fast it basically transfers data, I believe. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. For the video card or graphics card, I want the GTX 1060, 6GB. Case is the Thermaltake Versa NT1 ATX mid-tower case. Power supply, same as before, 500 watts, y'all know. $950 budget PC build. I went with the AMD Ryzen 7 1800X 3.6 GHz 8-core processor. CPU coolers, Cyorig, I don't know how to pronounce that. H749.0 CFM CPU cooler. I did go for air cooled. For the motherboard, I went with the MSI B250, same as before. Y'all know that. Memory, Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gigabytes, 2666 megahertz. Storage 2 terabytes, same as before. Video card 1066 gigabytes EVGA. Case is the Cougar MX330X ATX mid tower case. So many X's, oh my gosh. Power supply went with the Rosewell 600 watt 80 plus gold certified power supply. Moving on to the last PC build for AMD, which is the $1,150 budget gaming PC build. I went with the Ryzen, however you guys want to say it, 2700X, 3.7 gigahertz. It's an 8-core processor too, their newest one, I believe. And for the motherboard, I went with the Asus Prime B450M. It's micro ATX. Memory, I went with the 16 gigabytes of G-Skill Ripjaws V series, 3200 megahertz. Storage is 2 terabytes. Video card is the GTX 1070 Ti, 8 gigabytes. And the case is Cooler Master Masterbox Lite 5 ATX mid-tower case. And the power supply is 650 watts by EVGA Supernova. Moving on to Intel. Now, everything will be a little bit not as good as the ones for AMD until we, I believe, like get up to the $750 gaming PC. But anything for the $750 and below, for all these that I picked out, go with the AMD side because I believe they're better in performance, even though Intel's better in gaming. But for the $550 gaming PC, I went with for the CPU, the Intel Core i3 6100, 3.7 gigahertz. It's actually pretty fast. Never mind. What am I saying? CPU cooler, air cooled, Cooler Master Hyper T2, motherboard MSI B250 Pro. The memory is Team Elite plus 8 gigabytes, 2400 megahertz. This is where I had to go 8 gigabytes because Intel's not cheap. For the storage, I went with 1 terabyte. The video card is a GTX 1050, 2 gigabytes. Case is Cooler Master Masterbox Q300L, micro ATX. And the power supply is 450 watts by Cooler Master. 650. Moving on to the $650 build, we have the Intel Core i5 7400 3 GHz quad core processor, Cooler Master T2, MSI H110M Pro VD plus whatever, Team Vulkan 16 gigabytes DDR4 2400 memory, megahertz. Storage, I went with 1 terabyte. Video card, I went with the 1050 Ti 4 gigabytes. The case, I went with the same one as before, Cooler Master Masterbox Q300L. Power supply, I went with the 450 watt by Cooler Master. For $750, I put the Core i5 7600K, 3.8 gigahertz quad core. Cooler Master Hyper T2 for the CPU cooler. The motherboard is the H110M-E. Memory is the Team Vulkan 16 gigabytes, 2400 megahertz. Storage is 1 terabyte. The graphics card is the GTX 1050 Ti, 4 gigabytes. The case is a Deep Cool Tesseract SW. The power supply is the Cooler Master MW-E Bronze 450. Moving on to the $850 build, we have the Core i7 7700 3.6 gigahertz quad core, And CPU cooler, we have the Noctua NH-L9i. For the motherboard, we have the Gigabyte GA B250M-DS3H. For the memory, we got the Team Vulcan 16 gigabytes, 2400 megahertz memory. For the storage, we got 1 terabyte. For the graphics card, we got 1050 Ti. I know you're expecting like $850 build, getting a 1050 Ti. Most of the money went into the CPU. But if you do want to change up the CPU, you can. I'm not the one buying this for you. The power supply is 450 watts. Now, I know the most expensive one is more expensive than the AMD one. That's because, of course, Intel's more expensive than AMD. And I want to get the same GPU that I got in the AMD one inside of the Intel one. So I did end up forgetting to have the $950 budget PC build for Intel. So I made it right now, and for the CPU, it has the i5 6600K. I know it's an i5, but it has 3.5 gigahertz, and it's a quad-core processor, so I think it's pretty good. The CPU cooler is the Corsair H100i V2. The motherboard is the MSI B250M. The memory or RAM is the G.Skill Ripjaws V series, 16 gigabytes DDR4, 3200 megahertz. For storage, I picked the 2 terabytes. Video card, I picked the EVGA GTX 1066 gigabytes, super clocked. The case is the Thermaltake Versa HAT Micro ATX case. And for the power supply, I went with the EVGA Supernova G3, 550 watts, 80 plus gold, certified. Anyways, guys, back to the most expensive build. So it's $1,500. I went with the Intel Core i7 8700K, 3.7 gigahertz, 6-core processor for the CPU. The CPU cooler is the Corsair H100i V2. Motherboard is the MSI Z370A Pro. The memory is G.Skill Ripjaws V series, 16 gigabytes, 3200 megahertz. The storage, as an SSD, I got an Samsung 860 EVO 500 gigabytes. For storage, just regular, the HDD is 2 terabytes, Seagate Barracuda 2 terabytes. Video card, 1070 Ti. The case is the NZXT S340 Elite White. EVGA Supernova G3 650 watts for the power supply. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But I will also, here, I'm going to show you guys what I am currently saving up for. I changed from before because before it was outrageously expensive. I will be getting the Ryzen 7 2700X. The motherboard that is called a Asus Prime X470 Pro ATX motherboard. The memory is a G.Skill Ripjaws V series, 32 gigabytes, 3200 megahertz. The storage is the Samsung 960 EVO, 500 gigabytes. And then for the HDD, that was the SSD. For the HDD, we have the Seagate Barracuda 2 terabyte. For the for the graphics card, we have the GTX Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1070 Ti. For the case, we will be getting the NZXT H500i. Gonna have some RGB. And then for the power supply, I'll be getting the EVGA Supernova G3 750, 80 plus gold certified, fully modular power supply. I know that is overkill, but I do also want to be able to upgrade to, like, let's say 2080 RTX 2080, and maybe it needs more power, so I don't have to buy another power supply. But what will make this more expensive, like another $170, is I will be adding in the Elgato HD60 Pro, I think it's called. It's basically a capture card you put in your computer. But anyways, guys, if this did help you or did give you an idea of what you want to get for your PC, make sure to hit that like button. And if you have any suggestions for changes that you do in the future, make sure to comment that below. And also, if you do want more and liked it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are new to join Team Clover Crayons to see more videos like this one and more gaming. But anyways, guys, I'll be seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.